Decisions. It's an abundance of things to talk about. I was intending on doing another Dawson video. I thought, okay, I've done one the other day, but he deserves another one all to himself. I thought, hold on, Fornals deserves a video all to himself as well. I thought, Johnson does as well, really. I think the way Antonio played was absolutely miraculous, by the way. To see him had no energy left to walk back round to the dugout. He ran himself completely into the ground. When Antonio plays like that, you understand why David Moyes finds it so hard to find a replacement for someone that's going to play that type of game. The way he created space for others and worked really hard and held the ball up was immense. The way when the ball went up to him, he was able to kill a lot of time, either hold the ball up, allow others to join him, or actually draw the foul and just allow us as a team to get 10 yards further up the pitch. Thought he did that tremendously well. You have to excuse me if I'm quite scattergun in my thinking on this. What I might do is later on, I'll tell you what I'll probably do. Later on today, maybe I'll do a live with Gonzo or something like that, and we'll do your comments. We'll do a live sort of your comments one, if you fancy a bit of that later. Because I'm quite scattergun in my thinking today. Now, I wasn't much aware of the Atletico Madrid and Man City game. You'll obviously be aware of what happened there, because you probably know more about this sort of stuff than I do. So it all got a bit fruity, all got a little bit tasty. And somebody said, when I was listening, I think I was listening to the radio, somebody said that there was a wonderful irony about Atletico Madrid complaining about Man City time wasting. So obviously the accusation is, well, that's absolutely ridiculous because they're the worst time wasters of all. So you can't have it both ways. You can't time waste like that, then complain when someone else is time wasting. I had a little bit of that about Lyon, really. I don't want to concentrate too much on them because ultimately we won through. It didn't work. But there was a certain amount of sporting justice, I felt, within that. In as much as we were down to 10 men. I didn't think we deserved to be down to 10 men in the previous game. It was, a real battle to keep the game to such a low scoreline that we did in the first leg. But also it was the way they were cheating. And also the way the referee was awful. So I felt we deserved a good referee. We got one, by the way. And I'll talk about what David Moyes said about that referee in just a second. But the way that we were able to, I guess, some, we call it revenge. Some revenge for their cheating tactics. But they got the right ump, didn't they? Lyon, they got the right ump. Now, I don't think we were anywhere near as bad as them. So we didn't pretend to have a head injury and different things like that. I even think the Dawson one, that being said, he got hit in the ball with the face. But he has got a broken nose. And if you are carrying a broken, do you carry a broken nose? Wearing a broken nose? Whatever it is, if you've got a broken nose and you get hit with a ball in the face, it bloody hurts, right? Anyone that's broken their nose understands this. And to be fair, blood did start coming out of his nose, so I don't think it was just sort of all pretend. Dawson's not like that anyway, but to kill a bit of time from the game, did Dawson stay down a little bit longer than he should have done? Yeah, or could have done? Yeah, probably. Michail Antonio drew a foul. Did he put an extra sort of roll in there? Yeah, probably. I even noticed when Fornals got fouled, he put an extra roll. Weren't quite the full Neymar by sort of rolling all the way into the stadium car park or anything like that. But there was a little bit of professionalism from us. Oh, they didn't like it at all. I just thought, you've got no grounds for complaint, Mr. Olympic Lyonnais or whoever it was. I think I felt it really got to them. I said this after the Aston Villa game. I thought Aston Villa spent so much time trying to con the referee and rolling around that when it got to the point where they had to switch it up and show some urgency and win the game, they couldn't do it because they'd spent so much time rolling around, they couldn't then battle. And I felt this was the same with Lyon. By the time I think it was the first goal went in, they were completely demoralised. It wasn't part of the script. It really wasn't. And you could see how unexpected it was and how unwelcome it was just by the way the fans reacted at the end. I mean, that was really quite something. If they don't get some sort of retribution or punishment for that, I don't know what will. And I understand that's people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. We had 2 pitch invaders obviously in the game at our place. But they were trashing the stadium. They were really... I've actually, I felt some of them stewards were probably in quite a lot of danger, really, particularly with fireworks going off and stuff like that. How'd you get a firework into a ground, by the way? How does that even happen? What sort of searches are they doing? I mean, tell you what, be a massive worry if somebody wanted to take something a bit more sinister into a football ground. The fact that you can get in there with fireworks, crikey. Anyway, David Moyes. Let's have a little chat about what David Moyes has said, because I absolutely loved his comments, and I felt some of David Moyes' comments told a lot of the story about this game, right, and about how he perceived it and how it played out. I'm going to just read some of his comments from his press conference. Not the Sean Dyche one. Actually, we'll talk about that in just a second. Not the Sean Dyche one, but the press conference directly after the game. Before I do this video, I'm sure you will know by now, is sponsored by the OneFootball app, which you can download by clicking that link just under there. The OneFootball app is packed full of West Ham stories today. I tell you that. It is full of breakdowns and analysis of the Olympic Lyonnais tie. It's full of breakdown analysis of our future opponents, Eintracht Frankfurt, and also it gives you all the lowdown, everything you need to know for the upcoming game against Burnley, including all the Sean Dyche news. Why is it giving me all the West Ham stuff? Well, because when you sign up for it, and it is free, it asks you who you support. You click West Ham, and it puts all the news into one place right for you. You can use that QR code up there if you want to. Right, David Moyes was understandably jubilant after the game against Olympic Lyonnais. Let's get a couple of his comments here. Well, first of all, I think he was at pains to say... Actually, let's go back to the start. He said, I thought if you looked at Lyon's lost energy from the first goal, we gained a lot of energy from it and they dipped. He was absolutely right. The heads went right down, didn't they? And this is the thing. When it's hard to switch momentum, which is sort of my laboured point about the comparison with Aston Villa, really. It's hard to then switch it up. You think, well, you're a goal down now. You can't now cheat your way into it. You can't now kill time. Time wasting's gone. Now you have to have the ball in play more than you would like to and more than you've been practicing to. It's really hard to get that switch around. Moisey said maybe if it had gone the other way, football could change very quickly. The biggest part of us getting through was what the players did with 10 men last week. Absolutely quite right. He said tonight, I've got to say, the referee did really, really well. And he's absolutely right, and we deserved that. We deserved a good referee. The game deserved a good referee. I think he just let an awful lot go. Oh, look, when there was a booking there to be made, he gave it. Look, he gave us a Diop one. Did us a Diop deserve the booking? Yes, he did. Absolutely. I know it's easy to say that in hindsight when we've won and I'm in a good mood and you're in a good mood and everything's fine. But you know what? He dished out the card when he wanted to. And then, I mean, there was a lovely bit in it as well where the geezer, where Jared Bowen got taken down and the guy was saying, you know, get up, referee shouldn't have blown there, get up. And Jared Bowen turns around and said, no, actually you fouled me. Look, you've even knocked my boot off. And the referee pointed at the boot and said, you knocked his boot off, mate. So I thought it was, you know, it was quite fair enough, really. Good referee. Anyway, Moisey said, this is what we want. The aim is to make it better. I can see things like us needing to be better at building from the back, but building from the back today wasn't important. We didn't really try to do it because we knew they were weaker at their end. So we thought we could get amongst them more just by hitting it straight at their defenders and around the back of them. That gave ourselves a chance. Really nice tactical insight there, that basically what he'd done is he'd identified that it probably wasn't worth contesting it in the midfield area early on. Let's just get them turned and get it over there. Basically, he's saying, I decided to play long ball in this. Now, it was really interesting for anybody that watched BT, that if you watch on the BT, who I think have done a tremendous job this season, one of the reasons, I know I mentioned it a little bit last night, and if you're a patron, then you'll know I mentioned it in a Patreon player ratings. What I like about what BT do, BT don't try and be fair, all right? BT realise they're a British broadcaster. In fact, you know, like the BBC and Sky, you'd almost get the impression, I don't know, if they'd have got the rights for that game, they would have had an Englishman and a Frenchman in there. They would have tried to be fair. I get it, right? BT haven't. You know, when West Ham play, they just stick a couple of former West Ham players in there, and you know what? Whoever the host is, I don't know her name, she's right into it as well. Basically, you get the impression, BT give the impression that their whole team, they're covering the game, are not neutral. They want West Ham to win. And I absolutely love that. Now, when you go onto that app, there's a thing. So if you click on West Ham Olympic Lyonnais, there's a button that's called Collection. You can look at all the videos and all the breakdowns of everything from both legs. Now, after the first leg, Joe Cole did this bit of analysis showing how you could get over the back, and basically pretty much described how Bowen went on to score our third goal in this game. And it's sort of what Moyes was talking about bypassing the midfield. I just thought it was really interesting. If you get the chance, go and give it a little look. He said, Moyes here, I thought Mikel Antonio was exceptional tonight. For me, that's Mickey's best game for a long, long time. He was exceptional tonight. I thought exactly the same for all the reasons I said at the start of the video, and it was really interesting that Moyes thought that, and you know, he had nothing left to give at the end. It'd be interesting to see what, if anything, he's got left for the Burnley game. He said Dawes, as in Craig Dawson, has upped his game again. He's gone again and again, and he's actually had a few dints in the nose in the last few weeks and a broken nose, but he kept going. So is that a few smacks on the nose plus a broken nose as well? He said he plays really, really well. I think we'd all agree with that, wouldn't we? And he stepped up because you have to think we've got no Ogbonna, no Zuma, and no Cressy tonight, and we come here and we got the result. He said when you look at it, wow, to come in tonight and keep a clean sheet was some achievement. It was an achievement. This I like. This last comment here. West Ham is starting to get noticed around Europe again, and people are beginning to see us. Simple comment, right? Simple comment. And I think that's really, really important that we do. And it's all very well, as I mentioned before, it's all very well us, West Ham, looking for players at the next level up, but they have to be interested in coming to West Ham. And I think once you start getting to European semi-finals, you become a viable option. The big players are always going to go to the Galactico clubs, if you like. And, you know, you're going to see Mbappe and Haaland move to big clubs this summer. But there are a whole load of players the next level down. And that's where West Ham have to be looking at. And there's no shame in going for Rafinha. The biggest shame in going for Rafinha was the fact that we didn't bid enough money to convince Leeds to sell him. There's no shame in going for Darwin Núñez if that's who David Moyes has identified. The biggest shame is that actually we went in with, 50 million when Benfica want 65. I may have my figures wrong. But whatever you think, actually what Moyes is saying there is people are starting to notice us, notice West Ham in Europe. This only helps in that, and I've been saying it for quite some time now. There's no, I want to get through to the final. We all do, but I just think if we can somehow through the league secure European football and get this adventure again, you'd start next season with a bit of hope, wouldn't you? With a lot of hope, and actually, even if we went out of the semi-finals, you would be able to say to players, and this is surely what David Moyes wants. Okay, look, we did really well in Europe last year. The year before that, we did really well in the Premier League. Oh, and actually, by the way, we're in Europe next season as well. By the way, we're going to try and win it this time. Now, saying you want to try and win a final when you've never got near before just sounds like big talk, you know. I think once you've reached a semi-final, it doesn't sound quite as ridiculous. We're actually going for it, and actually I think you become a viable option for some of these players. Anyway, sorry, I said I'd talk about Sean Dyche. We'll leave it for tomorrow's video. It's probably more relevant then. If we've got a game, we'll do a little quick morning video. As I say, maybe do a your comments one. If you let me know in the comments if you fancy doing a little, if you're around, you're not doing too much, maybe it's a lovely sunny day like it's been today. I'm recording this on Friday evening, by the way. Then maybe you're busy, but you know, maybe we'll do your comments later. And thanks for joining in. I'll catch up with you later on.